Next Friday.
Thank you. Friday.
Not this Friday?
This Friday, yes, this Friday.
What?
If I sent out the message last Friday, I would have put on the message next Friday. At that time, this Friday was next Friday.
Don't lose these tests, guys.
Do we have to give them back?
Well, this, because you're gonna want to take these to your whatever
Oh,
teacher
You
you
want to
work
put a
with.
sad face? You put a sad face?
Good morning.
Okay, so here's where we left off. Let's find X and Y. And they also want a justification. Oh, we only have, I feel like, no, okay, yeah,
We only have 5 minutes.
no, we got 7 minutes. Which one here would you say would be quicker to find? Not necessarily easier, they both should be easy. Jaden, what would you say?
Why?
You would say, I would say Y also. Why?
Why not?
Too many people talking. Joseph, go ahead. Well, they are going to be congruent, but why? Why are they congruent? What's the relationship?
They're supplementary. Congruent.
Well, congruent is what makes it 144. Why are they congruent?
So what you asked for?
What is the relationship between the Y? Corresponding, good.
Oh. Okay, now.
How about the X? How would I find the X?
You gotta solve.
What's the relationship between the X and the 144? They are going to be supplementary. Well, see now, sequentially, if you found Y first, you can now say that X and Y form a linear pair. But from the beginning, if you were to find X first, you would say because they're same side interior. But wait, Mr. Romero, isn't that consecutive interior? They're the same thing. You would say X plus 144 is equal to 180 minus 144.
This is your notes.
X is equal to 36. I'm just finishing the notes from Friday.
Thank you.
Any questions there? Since we're not going to be able to finish, I'm going to actually, let's skip to the end and go backwards. See if maybe we find some new things. So this is the very last example here. Is it possible to prove that lines P and Q are parallel? If so, state the, okay, this is important. This will show up on the quiz. Can I prove that these lines are parallel and then say which one? Well, what types of angles are they giving me here?
Alternates.
Same side.
Good, you can say consecutive interior, you can say same side interior. So if there's going to be any justification, that's the only one we could use, right? Well, in order to use same side interior to prove that lines are parallel, then those same side interior have to be supplementary. The fact that they're on the same side of a transversal and inside of P and Q makes them same side interior, but that doesn't mean anything unless those two add up to 180. So what is 122 plus 58? That is 180, yeah. So in this case, it would be yes. You would have enough because those are supplementary. Okay, 2 is a little trickier. There's a lot of stuff going on here. What I would do is visually, go ahead and take in all the numbers, but visually, try to kind of forget that that little segment's there. So that if we look at these two together, even though our eyes are seeing a 60 and a 25, together, from going from P to this transversal, how many degrees are there? 85. So here I only see an 85, Down here, I also see an 85. What's the relationship there? Good, those are alternate interior. And if the lines are parallel, what should be true about alternate interior? They should be congruent, and they are. Okay, because 85 is the same as 85, so this would also be a yes. You do have enough to prove it. Okay, let's look at the last one. Don't look at these individual angles. If you put those together, that's 122. So what's the relationship between the 122 and the 120? Well, no, those are corresponding. But if the lines were to be parallel, what should be true about corresponding angles? Yeah, and these are actually not congruent. That's the symbol for not congruent. Because 120 is not the same as 122. So here I do not have enough to prove the lines are parallel. Corresponding angles are supposed to be congruent. Okay. What's the relationship here? Or better yet, do we have a relationship? Assume that the directions here just say to find x. I know it doesn't say the direction, but just said find x. Do those two angles have a relationship? No, actually the two angles that we're seeing don't have a direct relationship, but if I were to write this x minus 2 here, I could. What relationship allows me to say that that if these two lines are parallel, that this is also going to be x minus 2? What allows me to say that this is the same as that? Because they're corresponding. Those are corresponding angles. So now that I know that those two are the same, now I do have a relationship between these two. What's the relationship between the two angles that are next to each other? You could say linear pair, or you could also say adjacent. So it just took me two relationships to get to where I needed. Now that I've gotten here, the relationship for adjacent angles are that they're supplementary, so I could say x minus 2 plus the 105 gives me 180. So this gives me x plus 103 minus 103. X equals 77.
Can you just plug it in the formula and solve it?
Say again?
Can you just plug it into the formula and solve it like that?
Well, we just don't have a direct relationship, so it's not my job to just tell you what the answer is, but I want to show you how I was able to get there, so you can retrace my steps. All right, we'll call it a day there. Hopefully I can do a few more next period.
Everybody, come on.
Jason,